Hi guys, and welcome to my review stroke comparison of the Vobot Amazon Alexa based smart clock, which is that little kiddie just there. I've recently acquired this, and as well as doing just a review on this, I really wanted to do a comparison with the Amazon devices, because if you're in the market for the Vobot, you may just want the Vobot as a voice activated clock basically, or you may want it to replace an Amazon Dot, or want to buy it instead of an Amazon Dot. I've also got an Amazon Echo, but I'm not going to feature this because this isn't really what this is supposed to be in competition with, so I'll leave that out of it for the time being. I've muted the Amazon devices for the moment because I'm talking about Alexa a lot and they'll just keep waking up every 5 seconds otherwise. Now the first difference you'll see, apart from obviously the shape, is the fact that you've got a display. I'm not quite sure why it's connecting Alexa, but there you go. Maybe I've had a Wi-Fi dropout or something. That's the first time I've ever seen that. That's very strange. I've never seen that before. But it did it autonomously anyway, so that's fine. Anyway, yeah, so you can see the display on there. Let's just stop this. Stop. And this shows you one of the first features, is the voice commands that you can give it. There's a sensor on the top now. As you look at that, you can see just there is where the sensor is. That's the speaker. You've got controls on the back which are volume up and down. That also doubles as the power. And you've got the mute control just there. And that brings me to one of the major differences between the two of them. So apart from the fact that this has got a display, so you can use it as a clock, you haven't got to keep asking Alexa the time. It's there, and in the middle of the night the display is actually quite a good level of brightness, so it doesn't glare, light up the ceiling or anything like that. It's just enough to see by, and that's great. But as I say, one of the major differences is these don't have a wake word that these have. I'm using Alexa on this at the moment. All you do is you'll press the button. Good morning.
Good morning. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no...
Stop. So you can see there is no wake word. You don't have to say the name. You just press the sensor button, and that's perhaps important if you've got other devices, Amazon Alexa devices I should say, in the same room, because then you won't be disturbing them whenever you're talking to this. You'll just literally give it the command. The downside is if you need to access the commands remotely, so if you're the other side of the room for instance and you want to use it for turning music up and down on the volume, you can't do it. You have to run back to the clock to press the sensor. If you're just in bed and the clock is next to you, it isn't an issue, but if you're the other side of the room, it does become an issue. So that's the first thing to bear in mind. Cosmetically though, it does look very nice. I mean, it's you got some detailing around the inner rim just there, and this kind of copper colour bezel on the outside looks very nice. Kind of a cone shape going on there, and it sits quite nicely. Good angle for viewing as well. And a very wide viewing angle on the display, so it doesn't really dull significantly either way really. It doesn't really come out as well on the camera, in fact. So I'm looking through the camera screen and sometimes you can't see it so well, but in real life it's actually alright. You've got an alternating display on this, so it shows you the time, day and date, or whatever else you want to show on it, and the parameters are all set in the app itself, so you've got a Vobot app that you can download. One of the major advantages that this has got over the Amazon Dot is the fact that if you're using it as an alarm clock, you can set the tones as you would normally do, but you can also set to wake up to radio station. Music can be a little bit flaky on this compared to the Amazon Dots. It won't seem to play anything from my Amazon Unlimited Music I won't try and show you anything from my unlimited account because we'll just be sitting there watching the egg timer go around, but I will show you from my music account. Right, let's play some Green Day from my music.
Shuffling songs by Green Day from your library.
Here's one of the other things with the device. It's got a bit of lag to it, particularly when streaming. Not quite sure why that is. Other commands it seems to issue quite quickly, but if it's anything to do with music streaming or the radio, then it does take a bit of a time. So again, it's just thinking about it. And there we go. Let's turn the volume up a little bit. You can also control the volume remotely by volume 6. Volume 10. Stop. The speaker is somewhere equivalent to what the dot gives you. That wasn't a particularly good example because I weren't playing any bass on that one. There isn't any bass on these anyway. But normally you get a slightly fuller tone than you would have done on that particular song. But let's try it on this one, for instance. Alexa, play Green Day from my music.
Shuffling songs by Green Day from your library.
But you can see the response time on that is a lot quicker than it was on that. Stop. Alexa, stop. But as I say, the music-wise, they're much of a muchness between the two of them. The speakers are pretty much equivalent to each other. Connectivity on the Vobot is a little bit more limited than with the Amazon Echo devices because although this has input for audio cables, such as that, which is just there, it doesn't have Bluetooth. So if you're the type that want to connect to Bluetooth, which you can do with the Amazon Echoes, you can't do that with the Vobot. It has to be via a cable. So that's just something to bear in mind. When it comes to supporting smart devices, absolutely no problems with this at all. Let's see if I can just smooth this camera up a little bit. Turn on tree.
Okay.
Turn off tree.
Okay.
So no problems with that. Nice and quick on that. It's just with the music streaming, it seems to lag just a little bit. Another important aspect that Amazon Echo users might miss with this is the drop-in support, which it hasn't got. It doesn't do drop-in. Drop-in on lounge.
Calling with Alexa is not supported on this device. You can use the Alexa app instead.
So if drop-in or messaging, etc., is something that you use on the Amazon devices, this won't support it. So again, just something to bear in mind really with that. One of the other advantages with this over the Amazon Dots is the fact that this can be unplugged. You've got a battery in there which runs all functions of the clock even while it's unplugged. So unlike the Echo Dots which go off as soon as you unplug them, this will just keep going. I'm not sure on the battery time actually. I must try and look at the runtime on the battery, and I'll post the information on the video because I forgot to look that up before I started this. Now, when I first set this up, I did have some issues setting this up to the home Wi-Fi. For some bizarre reason, this won't recognise any special characters in the SSID name, which mine did have. It had an apostrophe in my SSID. It shouldn't be there, and I should have realised that when I set up the SSID, but I've not had any problems with any of my devices, Echo devices or anything else, ever since I've had it. But this won't recognise the special characters. So that's something to be aware of, and it did mean that I had to change my SSID and then go around and change all of my devices to the new SSID. So that was a bit of a pain, to be honest, because it took me a couple of hours to do all of that. But it does mean that I'm not likely to have issues in the future now, because I've now got compatible SSID, I hope, with everything. I never even realised it was actually going to be a problem. This has got a little Easter egg built in. It's a breakout game, which I won't actually show you on here. It's a fairly simplistic game. It's controlled by tilting the clock backwards and forwards and accessed by pressing the volume down button for 5 seconds. You get 20 lives, and there's no way of stopping the game during the time that it's actually running, so hence I won't show it on the video now. So I think in summary is, if you want an alarm clock that you can use for controlling smart devices, you want to do a little bit of streaming, you want to play the radio, that kind of thing, and get yourself into the smart home technology, this is a great way to do it. It's slightly cheaper than the Amazon Dot. This was 45 quid, I think, as opposed to the 49 quid that the Amazon Dot is. As I say, it's got a battery, so you can use it wirelessly, so you can take it from room to room, so it would save you buying multiple dots. But if you actually needed to replace a dot, or if you want to buy this instead of buying a dot, you must appreciate that there are limiting functions with it, the no Bluetooth. The music, I'm not too sure whether that's just a me thing or whether that's a Vobot thing, the fact that it won't play my unlimited account. So I'm not too sure about that. You might have to check that out. So no Bluetooth. Oh, no drop-in support was the other thing as well. So if those are items or features that you wanted to see in your smart home device, then maybe the Vobot isn't for you. But it's a great little device anyway. I'm using it every day now, and I'm waking up to radio, which I think is great. And all of the voice commands, aside from the ones that I mentioned so far that I've used on it, it's performed quite happily. Well, I hope that's helped you guys out, because this can be a little bit confusing. And if you've got any questions, obviously put them in the comments below. And if you like the video, I do lots of other gadget videos, drone videos, etc. Then hit the subscribe button. And thank you very much for watching.